Welcome everybody to Apostles of Kane. This is a homebrew D&D game. I am your DM, Jesse, and we have on my screen below me is Matt. Hey, Matt. So why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us your experience in D&D, how long you've been playing, then your character.
Yeah, my experience in D&D is I saw it in a movie once, and I saw it on a popular TV show on Netflix.
Yeah.
This is my first time ever D'ing and also D'ing.
Nice. Next, we have Lucas. Go ahead and tell us what your experience is.
Fifth edition is my bread and butter. I've ran several games. I've played in several more games. I'm going to be JD or Jesse's backup DM for rules, references, and such things.
Yeah.
But I'm just here to shake my head in abject misery at the shenanigans that are about to happen. So
I'll be leaning on you a lot, Luke. A lot.
Great. Perfect. Great.
And finally, we have John. Go ahead and tell us your experience.
Yes. I have zero experience in this game. I have no freaking clue what I'm doing.
That's amazing. That's exactly.
We're not in character yet, buddy. It's just us.
Yeah. I have zero experience in this game, and I have no clue what I'm doing. But having fun.
Awesome. So our game starts in Reich, where all three of our NPCs will be meeting. They will be interacting for the first time. And before we do that, though, I want to have each player introduce their character and a little bit about their background. Don't go too in-depth on your background. We only need kind of a glimpse, highlight, something to kind of let the other players know who you are. Because I've gone, I've pretty much taken everybody to the side on their own with me and worked on their players together. So they have a background that the other players don't know about. And I want to keep it that way for story reasons. So let's start with Matt again. So give us the name of your character, what he's about in general, and what his goals are.
My name is Leviticus of Vernon. I was born in Daranon, actually, and I was born a slave into a slave family, into a slave race. Our race being enslaved by the higher elven, us wood elves, of which I am. In Daranon, I escaped slavery at a very young age of 112, and escaped to Vernon, where I take my name, and I had wandered the wilderness throughout Doras not long after reaching Vernon, and came upon a temple in my wanderings where I began my journey as a monk and learning the ways of self-mastery, and also including martial arts, and learning various trades, eventually settling in Reich, the capital city of Doras, the delta there at the White Bay. And I met someone, a kind of father figure, his father had built a shop in the city market, and I have taken. He gave me room and board and a job, and I've been there for the past 60 years, and that's where I am at the moment.
What's the name of your of the person who took you in?
His name is Virginia.
Okay. All right, good. Because I have Matt's mentor. So
Virgil.
Yeah.
Virgil.
All right, that's better.
Virgil for short. His mother called him Virginia.
His mother was expecting a daughter.
All right, so I put Virgil.
I mean, they're kind of fuzzy on gender and rank.
I don't know. There you go. I mean, elves anyway, but
Right.
Okay, John, go ahead and give us a little bit backstory on your guy. Obviously, you don't need to give too much.
don't give away your secrets.
Yeah, no secrets given away, but enough to let people know what's going on with you.
Should I go like
The bio.
extemporaneous?
Just read the bio.
Just read the bio.
Yeah, because I got to sit down with you and kind of go a little more detail. There are things that we haven't talked about yet that I want to kind of put into your background. So your bio is just enough for everybody to know, okay, this is generally who he is.
All right.
So you can do your get into your character and all that you were doing earlier.
All right, here we go. Gonad Blighter is strong fighter. I was just a cub. Gonad's village big attack and destroyed. Our females and cattle slaughtered. And our clan was burned, killed, and left for vulture food. Kidnapped was me and brother Grundel by a group of bandits led by Darkcloak. His face had large scar. I awoke a slave. Fighting in pits and arenas, I gained strength and skill. I slaughtered others for many years. Aha! Aha! While I fought, I became friends with Grol, an older pit fighter who helped me stay alive. I'm fine, eldest daughter. I'm just pretending I'm a half-orc. Go play with your sister. I love you.
John's daughter.
That was my daughter. One day, I saw Darkcloak in town. I broke from my cage with help from Grol and found his camp. I killed many. Aha! A freaking ha!
Gesundheit.
I see Darkcloak use spells on Grundel before he escaped. Brother attacked me. I survive, but Grundel was killed. I buried his head in the ground. Now he returns to land of fire and blood to war among the gods. I will stay and help Null to freedom somehow. Perhaps, or perhaps not. I have not decided on that point yet. But I will kill the Dark Cloak. That's my freaking story.
And John, for you, you've heard that the bandit is actually in Reich, in the market square. He's in the market square somewhere. You heard this from servants that you knew back when you were at the pit. So you are currently on your way to the square right now to go and figure out whether this was
if I can find him.
Where he is exactly.
Okay, that's what I'm doing right now.
That's what you're doing right now at this moment.
Looking for the Dark Cloak, evil jerk.
Yes, exactly. All right. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you and all of the players, right?
You do not want my introduction, Jesse. I see how
did I get your introduction?
No, I'm just
That is
all by myself alone, unintroduced.
Luke, all right, we'll bring you back over here. And Luke, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead and introduce your character and a little bit about the backstory, and then we'll start into Reich after that.
As a very quick aside, I want bedtime stories read by Gonad Blighter.
And then the little birdie said, "Are you my mother?"
Exactly. All right. So my character is named Folan Sarfiel. He is a high elf, noble-born high elf. So even more.
Yeah.
High nose than the rest of them.
Yeah.
And he is recently arrived in Reich, still getting his bearings. He's from back east in the actual elven areas of Durnanon and what's the other one? In Durnanon and Azranon. He's actually, his family is from the old continent, but that they moved several centuries earlier to this area, and he's lived most of his life in the Elven lands, in and around Azranon and Durnanon. But he has now moved onward, expanding his horizons, as they say, in Reich, and is looking for a certain shop in the market square right now.
Yep. Verge pretty much was talking to you about the daily stuff you guys talk about every day, Matt. He said that he had to go out back to do some sorting and counting of the inventory, and he wants you to watch the storefront. So you are sitting at the storefront like a good little boy, good little wooden elf, holding the storefront, when somebody enters into the storefront, which is Lucas's character. So this high elf enters into the storefront, snooty as hell, like,
and dressed to the nine. Like, this guy obviously keeps up on like local fashion, totally decked out in like everything.
Your character, Leviticus, has not seen a high elf for quite a while. It has been well over 100 years. And your first feeling is this shock and fear shoots down your spine immediately, because you think of the years of enslavement. And so go ahead and take over from there, Matt. So the high elf enters into the shop, and what do you do? What do you say?
Welcome to the Dapper Essence. Thank you for coming. We're glad to see you here. How can I help you today?
Do that again, Matt. I want to make sure I got the facial expressions right on that. So Jesse, did my buddy say that this was a wood elf employed shop? Like, had no inkling that there was a wood elf working here? Okay.
No, he didn't. He gave you it was very general information. It was very, it was very general information.
Okay. Just making sure I'm not forgetting something.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Okay, so Folan just kind of gives you a nod, first of all, and says, "Good day," and just kind of looks around and takes in the inside of the building to see if it matches the outside or if it's different in some way.
So as you walk into the building and you say good day to the nasty wood elf in front of you, you kind of take a survey of the shelves and just the general demeanor of the inside of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice that the shelves are half stocked.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, very similar to like when everyone's like panic buying. Like
the toilet paper aisle is like...
like there's like you're lucky if there's bits around. It's not that bad, but it's close to that.
Okay.
And Matt, this has become like a normal for your shop. So you try and push any items that you do have in stock.
JD, did you say that there's any diseases going around the world right now, like tequila virus or rum virus?
Yeah, the tequila virus.
The tequila pestilence.
Yes, the tequila virus is everywhere, and everybody takes it and sticks it up their nostrils because that's the only way it gets in.
Okay. 300 years ago, during the tequila plagues. Okay. So I'll step forward. Are you behind a counter, Matt, or are you just standing in the middle of the?
I think I greet you right there in the middle of the floor.
Okay.
According to the map.
Yeah.
Right. So I reach behind me and I get out my handcuffs and I say, "You're coming with me." No.
Oh, I see. I get it, because I used to be a slave. It's a very. What'd you say your name was? It's very. Are you fooling me? Well, that's
Don't act. Okay,
Dad
that's all
jokes.
right.
Dad jokes.
Carrying on. No, I'll ask Folan or Leviticus. I'll ask. Are you the proprietor, or is there someone else I can speak to?
well, the proprietor is out getting supplies right now, but I have been I've been helping run the shop for 60 years, and I know the area very well and the surrounding area as well and I'd be happy to help you with whatever you might need today.
I kind of look around at the shelves again, and I'm like, it seems like supplies might be needed. Your stock
They
is
are.
low.
Yeah,
Business
stocks are low.
good then, I take it?
It really hasn't been as good as it was when I first came to town and met Virgil and started working here at the Dapper. Can't really say. It's been something I've been trying to figure out lately, but just haven't gotten very far on that investigation. But yeah, you're right. It is kind of sparse around
Well,
here.
the little thing here is that old Virgil may be a little bit stuck in his ways. Is that a fair assessment?
Oh, well, he's human, first of all, those
He's
humans.
been here for 60 years?
Yeah, and he was 30 when I met him. And so he's pretty old for humans.
You might be soon finding yourself a business owner.
I mean, I don't like to think about that. Virgil's kind of a father figure. And I love him dearly. And he's gave me the first real stability I've had in my 2 and some odd 100 years in this world. But yeah, he's not as sharp as he.
Well, I do apologize. First of all, I need to introduce myself. My name is Folan Sarkia. I'm new in town and was directed here by a friend of mine who is familiar with your shop. Who might I be addressing?
Matt, real quick, I'm going to interject here. You hear his name, and fear strikes down your back. You don't know why, but something says, fear this person. You kind of contain yourself and then go back to what you're going to say.
Folan Sarfield, nice to make your acquaintance. Leviticus.
Leviticus.
Yes, Leviticus.
So very biblical.
Well, I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm not sure what that word means, but if it's from a book, possibly. I've been on the journey of self-mastery and I read quite a bit every morning. In my journeys the past 100 years or so, and but yes, it's Leviticus. Then how may I help you, Mr. Folan?
Well, mostly at the moment, I'm just familiarizing myself with my new city of residence.
So you're living here now?
Yes, I am new to town. Will probably be here for the indefinite future. But a friend pointed me in this direction, saying that your shop might be. I don't mean to sound crass, but might be struggling to stay afloat a little bit. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, as you can see around, we do our best to keep the shelves stocked, but with such little revenue, it's difficult.
So Folan is like this face that's like sympathetic and like pitying and like, yes, I understand, you poor thing, I get it.
Yes, yep. Pitying, he's got a face of pity and like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Do it on your own. I'll help you. And to remind you, he is younger than you, Matt.
Well, I don't know if that's readily apparent, but maybe it is. I don't know. But, I don't know anyone in this city, and I thought a good way to get to know some people and perhaps garner some goodwill of the residents is to help out some of the residents who maybe need some help. And I was...
How very generous of you.
I like to think so.
All right, I'm going to pause right there. All right. So you guys are in that discussion right now, and John, your character makes it into the market, to the edge of the market. Can you take control of this guy?
Sure thing.
I just want to make sure you can move him.
Looks like I can.
Okay, cool. So you take control of, you enter the market, so you're going to come up through this alleyway here. You're using the information from that servant that you were interacting with before you got into Reich.
Right.
And, you generally know the market area. Your trader has brought you in here a few times up near the church.
Working security.
Right over here. Not as security. They've brought you in to sell you. So, but you've never been bought. So they usually have like the slaves being sold up at the top here, at the top of the stairs. And Matt, you notice this happening. You usually just try and ignore it and pretty much say like, "Hey, there's nothing I can do about it." So, John, why don't you go ahead and enter into the square as you see fit?
All right. I move my character up to the corner of this building.
Mm-hmm.
I casually glance around. I use my keen sense of smell to determine that there is a gentleman selling whatever he's selling or lingering here. He might be homeless.
This guy, he's walking.
Oh, he's just walking.
Yeah. So he passed. Yeah.
He passes.
You kind of move up.
I glance and look through the crowd of the market and I'm trying my best to stay hidden in the shadows while trying to determine where the dark cloak man is so I can have my revenge.
Okay, so you roll a 7 for your perception.
Okay.
You see absolutely nothing that is out of the ordinary. You don't see any dark cloak anywhere. You kind of just like gaze at the food. You haven't eaten in a little while, so you're like, ugh.
Someone dumped a brand new hot bean-infused casserole in the trash can right next to you.
Right near you, so you know that you could probably go for that and get some food in you.
Right.
So it's your call if you want to try and do that, or try and maybe move your positioning to get a better view.
All right. So at this point, recognizing that I don't have many options available to me, I decide to slink into the nearest shop I can find, which happens to be this one right here.
Okay.
And
All
I just kind of like push in before even checking to make sure that nobody's standing behind the door.
So as you walk over to that shop, you kind of turn that corner and you hear something, some ruckus. And over here, you noticed that a really well-dressed man and what looks to be a better-dressed guard comes out of the church, followed by 2 additional guards.
Okay.
As they come out, you notice that the servant that gave you the tip that the dark cloak was here is clutching a bag, what you think is silver.
Not looking good. Not looking good.
And begins to move quickly. He's not
So now I'm starting to put together that I have been ratted out.
And
well, I'm putting together in my mind that he's sold me out.
Yeah. So he kind of moves very hastily out of the shop, out of the market area.
Okay.
Just as he's leaving, you turn to kind of look to see, you've paused.
Right.
And
okay.
The guards move up.
So now it looks like you paused as well. All right, so now I'm thinking I want to find some place to hide.
Right. So before you say I want to find some place to hide, you're thinking this and you're like, okay, I got to do this. So there's a well-dressed guard
Okay.
who's standing next to the well-dressed person.
Yeah.
Stands out. He kind of steps out in front, and he announces to the square, there is an imposter in the square. And he says, by order of the magnificent magistrate, the square is in lockdown now. And as he says that, troops begin to move in. Guards begin to move in.
All right. Guards everywhere.
Guards everywhere. All right. Good.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, so perfect.
First crit of the game is on a freaking insight check.
I find a bed sheet and I put it over my head and I just stand still.
And the chief shoves Verge forward
Hey!
for the magistrate. Who
Hey!
And obviously ignoring the orc that is underneath the thing.
My bladder is going to explode! Like and subscribe. Find out what happens to Gonad Blighter in the next episode. Pause.